Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Brother Ali!
Boston Mass, how y'all feel out here? Bismillah, let's go.
I'm here with Brother Ali. Great show tonight.
Thanks.
I guess we'll start off with your new album, Morning in America, is a little bit different than your typical albums, which kind of, talk about your personal life. You want to maybe explain about your new album?
Yeah, my new album is, it's really, the music that I started out making was really about struggle, about my personal struggle. And there was always, I've always had a two-pronged approach to first really describe what that struggle is like, but then also hope for the future. And over the course of my career, people have heard me being in struggling, suffering, and then also working my way into a better reality. And so now it's grown from me just suffering and struggling on my own to getting better reality for myself, to the suffering that's going on in society, in our community, and reimagining and dreaming for better future.
Now, I read somewhere that your wife told you to do a public radio show with Chuck D and Slug while she was in labor. You want to talk a little bit about that public radio show, what that was all about?
Yeah. Well, no, that's the first time that I met Chuck. And we did a, thanks, man. We did a, it was scheduled already, like our baby was really late. And we had scheduled to do a show where Chuck it was in a big theater and he was like being interviewed. And then they would almost have like musical breaks, almost like a commercial. And I would come out and be like the musical breaks in between the talk segments. And Slug was there too. Slug was brought in at the end to be part of the conversation. And he also, I think he did one of the sets too. So that's when Chuck and I met. So it just turns out that the baby was really, really late. And so they had to induce her. And the date that they gave, and they wouldn't let us change it, was the date of the show. And we're both big Public Enemy fans, and I didn't know Chuck at that point. And so she was like, yeah, go ahead and do the show. They're like, how much, they're like, once we start giving you it's called Pitocin, that makes a woman's body start reacting and go into labor. They said it usually takes something like 8 hours, and the show's only 4 hours. So she's like, go ahead, do what you got to do, and just come straight here when you're done. So that's what I did.
Love my family, love my God. From a new either, I love my art. Maybe to the pen till death do us part. Rock hard with all my heart. College bars call me avant-garde. Bradley calls, I'm all off the chart. Only thing happy about me, what my Puerto Rican mommy call me when she on me. The for me is all I let y'all see. I believe I rock it properly. Obviously, a lot of y'all agree. Remind me what the fuck is Stop Ali. Only me as far as I can see. Line 3 of my philosophy. By BDP it apply to me. 2, I'm just a guy that need a crew. That mean it's you people that believe in you. Hold you down and do what they need to do. Street preacher, say you don't believe what these people teach. Me neither. He who follows his dream is team leader. Freedom fighter meets the peacekeeper. See me creeping up in the pulpit. Full clip to speak to the people. May I suggest you just believe, dude. Everything you speak on really true. He's proved he will never mislead you. Treat you as nothing less than equal. That's why they call me Brother Ali too. The feeling always seem to be through. No quitting, I killing it to the beat through. No kidding, I'm in everything we do. Rap beat bullshit so see-through. They don't like the hoops, they gotta leave through. So they turn on each other like the weak do. Put your fucking hands up, let me see you. Came here to turn the party out. Y'all know just what I'm all about. Crew throw down without a doubt. B-town, let me hear y'all holler out. Turn the party out, y'all know just what I'm all about. We throw down without a doubt. And man, let me hear y'all holler out. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming to the Morning in America tour. Let me make some noise out there for the reminders. Make some noise for the reminders. Let me head out there for DJ Sosa and Homeboy saying, man. The band tonight is called Blank Tape Beloved. I'm Brother Ali, I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I came here for one reason. I came here to turn the party out. Y'all know what I'm all about. Get your hands all in the air. Hands all in the air. Let me see them out. I came here to turn the party out. Y'all know what I'm all about. Get your hands all in the air. Hands all in the air. Do it high now. Came here to turn the party out. Y'all know what I'm all about. Set your hands all in the air. Need your hands high in the air. Keep them up now. I came here to turn the party out. Y'all know what I'm all about. Get your hands up in the air. Hands all in the air. Let somebody say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say ho. Say ho. Say ho, ho. Say ho, ho. Say oh, wee, oh. And then y'all can say, whoa. Yes, yes, y'all. Don't stop now. Rock it out, y'all. Keep it going, flowing. And you don't stop. Come alive now. Give me what you got. We gon' do it to death. Let the party people rock until they catch their breath. But yes, yes, y'all. And you don't stop. Rock hard to the break. Bring it here.
About you know, having Slug from Atmosphere and a bunch of other people. You know, how's that going for you?
Working with other people? It's good, man. I don't really push it and force it. Like I work with people that really just make sense to and are natural. You know, I've never done the thing that people do with features now in rap where they want to get like the biggest, who is ever hot, you know, so they can try to catch somebody else's buzz. I've never done that, mainly just because those people don't, you know, like the people that are really heavy buzzing right now, they don't always kick it with me. You know what I mean? Like some of them will be really cool. There are a few people that are cool. Kendrick Lamar is really cool to me. You know, Big Crit is really cool to me. And I talk to both of them, but they're just busy, and I'm not gonna chase them and harass them and, you know, all that stuff. So I work with the people that are close, and I work with the people that want to work with me. You know what I mean?
All right.
But I've always been that way. I never chased the girl in school that everybody else liked. You know what I mean? It's like whoever wanted to be with me. That's what I figured I was supposed to. You know. So it's the same thing with rap.
Hey, you all sound good in here tonight. God. Who is this band? Did y'all bring these people? You sound good with them. I love your band. So how many of y'all know that we obviously just released this brand new album, Morning in America, Dreaming in Color, but we've been making albums for 10 years now. Has anybody out there ever heard Shadows on the Sun, that very old joint? That's what's up. What about The Undisputed Truth? You heard that? We made another one not too long ago, about 3 years ago. That was our last one. It's called Us. Y'all ever heard the Us record? Yes, sir. Is it okay if we do a little bit of everything in here tonight? All right.
Only Life, I know you talk about, it doesn't matter your race, beliefs, you know, where you're from, but more so, no matter what you do, get a job, hustle, go on welfare, it's tough to get out of this cycle.
That song is really, you know, not to downplay the role that race plays, because race plays a huge role. And they're actually, you know, a lot of us are, almost all of us are oppressed in some ways and privileged in other ways. And the reality is that even when we are poor, you know, there still is a totem pole, a social hierarchy of race that really affects the living of life for a lot of people, for everybody involved. But that song in particular is talking about poverty, and that poverty is a unifier in the sense that, you know, poverty is not just a black and brown thing. So I talk about, you know, projects and trailer parks and reservations and, you know, housing complexes and, you know, apartments and all that kind of stuff. So talking about what it feels like to be trapped in poverty, that the reality is that, you know, our opportunities, the world is as big as we are aware that it is, you know what I mean? And so, you know, we have this tendency to blame the poor for their situation. The people, the richest people that have everything, that's what they want us to do, is blame the poor for our own trouble and make it sound like, well, if they worked harder, if they were more moral, if they were smarter, if they just made the right choices, and if you know, then they wouldn't be in that situation. You know, and it's true that everybody has to work hard, everybody has to be moral, everybody has to make good decisions. But there are a lot of people that work hard all their life and do all the right things and still end up with nothing. And its society is engineered that way by the people at the top. So that song is humanizing the poor, unifying the poor, and really trying to express what it feels like to be trapped in poverty.
Does being a father and wanting to leave a better world for your kids change your thinking a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it does that for everybody. I don't think there's anybody in this world that has children that doesn't want the world to be better for their kids than it was for them. And, you know, in this country, it used to be that way, that, you know, the next generation had a chance to do a little bit better than the generation before. And now that's not true. Now, you know, our children aren't educated better than we were. Their opportunities aren't bigger than ours. They're not going to earn more money than we are. They're not going to be more free. They're not going to work less hours. Nothing about their material existence is going to be better than ours. They don't have better health care. They don't have better anything.
We're going to do a song on Uncle Sam Goddamn in here. You're just going to have to be okay with that. I got in a lot of trouble for this song, so I hope you enjoy it.
Not asking about your political views about the president, but do you think the mainstream media puts too big a deal on religion and race in the candidates?
I don't think you can put too much emphasis on that. I think that it should be emphasized, but I think that it should be talked about in a way that's in accordance with the facts and with the reality. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that when talking about the president specifically, when these comments are made by folks on the right who want to discredit Obama, they use coded language to really identify the fact that he's not white. So they talk about welfare. You know what I mean? And we know that welfare is a coded word that really means race. Most of the people in the mainstream media, instead of calling that out for what it is, they have this idea of being neutral. So no matter where the conversation goes, you know, so if you have somebody, you know, on 10 and somebody else on 8, then rather than them be at 5, they're going to be on 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right in the middle.
Yeah. Well, not in the middle, but between two extremes. You know what I mean? Rather than really talk about things for what they are. The other part of that is that his religion, and I mean, there are exceptions to that. Chris Matthews has been really big, and Bill Maher has been really big, but they're considered fringe. They're not considered, you know, that's not the same as Anderson Cooper doing it. Although Anderson Cooper has done some really cool things with that. But in terms of calling that out as the race baiting that it is, you know what I mean? The mainstream media doesn't do that. So I wish that they would talk about race in an honest way. But they don't. They ignore it. You know, the fact that the president has felt like he can't have any kind of agenda for the African American community, even though we know that there are specific challenges that are particular to that community. They have challenges and they have ways that our country and our society are not serving them or underserving them, and not providing them the same access to goods and resources. But he, because of the climate in the media, feels like he can't even address that. Whereas almost every president has. Mm-hmm. Bill Clinton did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them did. Mitt Romney went to the NAACP. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But Obama, because of the backlash that he would get, feels like he can't address that. You talk about religion, you know, people say, well, I think he's a Muslim. You know what I mean? Nobody in the media, with very few exceptions, will say, well, what if he was? Why is that why is that bad? Why is that a sin? Why is that a crime? I was really glad Colin Powell, during the last election, called that out and said, well, is there something, why can't we should be telling Muslims that your children can grow up and be president. Yeah. Why does he have to say, no, I swear to God, I'm not a Muslim? You know what I mean?
Yeah, certainly. And talking about the whole Islamic faith, you recently made the pilgrimage to Mecca. Would you like to expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, it's called the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, that all Muslims try to do once in our lifetime. And it's a specific season that we go. So there's 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. There's huge, numbers and populations of Muslims in every country in the world. And I think a lot of people don't know that. People think that Islam and Arab are synonymous. Only 20% of the Muslims in the world are Arab. The largest percentage of Muslims are in Asia. There are entire countries in Europe of white, Caucasian people that are Muslim countries. you know, a lot of Africa, a lot of, you know, there's Muslims all over the place. There's a lot of, you know, American Muslims, you know, and we're all there at the same time. So there's literally millions of people doing the same thing at the same time. And the sense of brotherhood and camaraderie that you get for what the human family is capable of is outstanding.
You know what I want to do before we go on? Let me get everybody that was on this stage with us back out here. I want to see the band. I want to see DJ Sosa. I want to see my man, Homeboy Sandman. I would love to see the Reminders out here. I would love to see DJ Lazy Eyes out here. Before we go any further, we had a really, really rough day. There was fucked up weather and stuff coming from New York. And the traffic was really fucked up. And we had a very difficult day, and on days like that, it's really hard for the crew to still pull the show together and make it work. Make some noise for KK and Josh over there. Make some noise for Brother Paul up there who made it sound beautiful and made the show actually happen. Hey, and I want to say, whoever in here, I don't know your name, sister or brother, but whoever is doing these lights, you did a great job. Let me hear it for them, too.
You know, a lot of people make choices based on who to bring on tour, based on ticket sales and all that kind of stuff. I bring the people that I want to be with around, you know what I mean? Because when I'm touring, I spend so much of my year on tour, almost as much time as home. So the same way that you choose the people that you live with, when you're on the road, you have to choose those people too. And also I bring people that I believe in what they're saying, and I want for us to be reflections of each other. And this time I brought the Reminders, who are some of my dearest friends, and you know, our families are friends, and our children are friends, and you know, very, very close. We go on vacation together as families, all that kind of stuff. And I brought them because their music is so full of joy, and there's just not much. We're in a loveless, joyless society that really celebrates, you know, being victorious over somebody else. You know what I mean? And that album is called Born Champion, and we're talking about the champion that's in everybody, the champion, you know, championing the cause of humanity, championing the cause of love, you know, having the courage and the strength to live with love and joy in the face of a world that's loveless and joyless. So they're beautiful, and I love them, and they're incredible. You know, also they're a couple, so their music comes from love and joy, you know what I mean? Their children are, you know, everything. Homeboy Sandman is my favorite rapper right now because he's just such an amazing artist all around, you know what I mean? So I remember when Slug used to tell people my favorite rapper is Brother Ali, he used to bring me on tour, and I never forgot that. And so whenever I see somebody that I think is great and people need to see them, and also it helps me too, like their being amazing helps my show. And then also people get to say, like, you know, because people would say with Slug, like, I heard you because of him, you know what I mean? And that's really a beautiful thing to be able to do that.
I went on my pilgrimage to Mecca with a 70-year-old man who was a jazz player. He played trumpet, and he was an incredible soul, incredible player, incredible human being. And we became very, very deep friends. I know, it's not a comedy show, and that shit you said ain't funny. Please be quiet. What's up? Keep rapping my ass off and don't talk? Hold on. Let me say something. Hold on, no. She's talking to me. Trust me, I can defend myself. I don't need you. What she said is very important. Because we have a problem in this society where we like to enjoy entertainment from somebody. We like the entertainment that they give us, but we don't care very much about the person that's doing it. And that's a problem. I'm standing out here talking because I want to hang out with you because I'm a person, and I'm trying to hang out with you as a person. And I think that says something specifically about hip-hop, because a lot of people that look like we do, they like to enjoy the music and don't care much about the people or the conditions that created it. That's a sickness that we have that we need to get over. And I like to think that that's why we're here together, because we're trying to get over this sickness that the world taught us to have in our hearts. We were taught this fucking sickness that we're not human. We got taught to believe all this other shit about ourselves instead of being a human being. So I'm going to talk for a second. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here. The show was over 5 minutes ago. But also know this. Also know that I love you and I'd die for your little ass if I saw somebody doing something to hurt you.
Well, sometimes some things we say, we put out into the world because we're saying it because the world needs to hear it. Some things we say because we need to hear it. And the thing is that it's very, you know, stage is very enchanting, especially when you're not used to getting a lot of attention. Like I'm not used to getting a lot of attention. And so getting that attention on stage, it's very seductive. And sometimes we can start fudging facts here and there, you know what I mean? So I did that whole truth thing as a mantra to myself to always stick to just the facts, you know what I mean? And don't get away from that. And then also, you know, you say, well, what is the truth? It's not an objective thing, it's my truth. My reason for saying that is that no matter what anybody feels about it, I will say what's important to me. And there are times, like tonight, there are times where I was talking and I was talking about the things I care about, and the crowd gets uneasy because they're not used to that. And there was a girl that told me to shut up and rap. You know what I mean? Shut up and rap. This is not a comedy show. You know, just rap your ass off. And I understand that. And so that it would be easier to just do that because they hear the music makes them clap. But my thing is that I have to have a commitment to what's going on inside me. I think that whatever's electric inside me is a communication from the divine, that's what I'm supposed to be talking about. That's what I'm supposed to be pushing into the world. I'm not supposed to quiet that to give them what they want. I'm supposed to give them that. I believe that. So that's what the whole, I want to say the truth is here and all that. You know, that's a commitment to myself. It's an oath to myself.
So you feel like, you know, there's a bit of a divine guidance possibly with your music?
Yeah, I think that's true with everybody. People don't see it that way. But I think that if we don't, I think that we shouldn't take credit for our own greatness. You know what I mean? I think we should take credit for the work that we do. We should take credit for the discipline that we enforce on ourselves. You know, we should, but anybody that's creative and anybody that really has great ideas or, you know, deals in greatness, everybody will tell you it comes from somewhere else. So if we pretend to own that thing, we're taking credit for something that's not really us. You know, and I know it's, you know, it's very popular for people to be anti-theists right now. Not just atheists, old school atheists, but like anti-theists. And that's unfortunate. That's a problem that people have to work out, you know what I mean? You know, people that are, don't believe in anything greater than their own capacity to understand the world. Their idea of life is that their mind is at the top. And it's not just the human mind, because they don't respect things in other cultures, very culturally chauvinist. But that's the popular thing right now. And again, my fans, you know, a lot of them, there are Muslims here at every show, but the majority of the crowd would probably rather not hear that. But I have to do what I believe in. You know what I mean? I was doing this long before anybody was here to listen, and I'll be doing it long after they find something else to listen to. And so I have to be me. So when this is over, I have to be able to say I was me. I stayed true to the people that loved me. I stayed true to the people that taught me. I stayed true to the people that made me what I am in the situation and the reality that made me what I am. Because if I'm not true to that, then I'm not worth anything. And all this is just bullshit. You know what I mean? But when I'm done and whatever is it, I'm going to feel good. I want to feel good about what I did.
Hope says that I don't care what happens to me as long as I'm willing to put in the struggle and the sacrifice. And as long as I'm willing to sacrifice for what I think is right, then I can make the world a little bit better than the way I left it. I can leave it a little better than I found it. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about hope, and at the end of the day, I'm talking about love.
The first song that we did today is called Stop the Press. And that basically, you know, all of my albums have been so autobiographical. So I wanted to just give a little update for the personal story, since so much of this album is dealing with social and community and public kind of issues rather than personal ones. So I just wanted to give a update to kind of explain why I'm doing an album like that. And, you know, I started touring in 2002, so that's 10 years ago. And I did more and more and more every year. So I did 6 months, or I did 4 months, then I did 6, then I did 8. And I got to the point where I was doing 10 months out of the year. A lot of the people that I toured with, like I said, that are my family, they just weren't able to tour with me anymore for one reason or another. So I was with all new people that I didn't have that bond with. I'm building it, but it's new people. And, you know, on top of that, my father passed away, my dear friend Idea died, and I would go home, and it's like I was visiting when I was home. So I'd go home, fly home, cancel a show, fly home, go to a funeral for somebody that I love, and then go right back to the road the next day, almost like it never even happened or something. I started feeling like I wasn't a person, like I was just this entertainer thing. And I had to go on stage and still rock the house and everything. And I was hurting inside. I can't go out on stage and just be like, I'm hurting, you know what I mean? So I said, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I took a bunch of time off. And then I made that pilgrimage to Mecca, and that gave me this kind of reawakening and made me really excited about life again. And that's what made me want to make this album that I made about what's going on in our society. So that song really means a lot in terms of explaining how this album, why this album exists.
How long has it been since we've been together? A few years, right? Let's take a few minutes and get caught up. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Stop the presses, give me a couple seconds. Let me tell my friends what's up with Big Brethren. New year, new beard, a new record. Made a few adjustments, I wanna discuss it. In a life of pain and sadness, I never would've guessed that a taste of success would've been the first time I ever got depressed. I mean, I know I'm blessed, I just couldn't adjust. In life, all I ever knew how to do was fight. Scrapped on the playground, fighting for the mic. Trying to build a life with the insane wife. Fighting for a little bit of time in the light. Then I got a daughter, a car, in a house, no one left to fight with but myself. Gained a lot of weight, one think about my health. Hold it, maybe the music that I'm making can help. Let's see, can't drive cause it's albino shit. Told him I was legally blind, that's legit. I ain't want Ed to have to scoop the kids, so I bought a crib a couple blocks from his. And that's the greatest friend I ever had. Like a brother to me, a borderline dad. Maybe making the record to get me on track. Help me fix whatever's wrong with my head. I jumped back in the basement at once. Made the album Us in a couple of months, but I ain't gonna lie to them, I felt lost. Energy I brought might have been a bit off. A couple great moments though, of course. Baby girl, puppy love, and the Travelers. Wow, I toured 2 years off that album. Was on the road 10 months out of one of them. Did the globe with my brother BK1, my life coach slash DJ, who literally been with me since day one. Had a lot of hard times, had a lot of fun. Long story short, he got a hell of a wife. Catastrophe, damn near ended her life. We brought our wifeys out to Hawaii. And guess who got pregnant on Waikiki? He said, I need to talk to you, Ali. This is what you were born to do, but not me. So after Soundset 2010, say goodbye to my DJ, but not to my friend. My career ain't stopped, it just grew. I rocked the bells in Glastonbury too. I was close enough to smell Beyonce's perfume, but it just wasn't the same without Dude. It couldn't slow me down, no Lord. Stayed on the planes and the buses and cars. Brought a younger DJ into the squad. And sucker quit on me cause I toured too hard. Well, on to the next one. Then me and Ant had trouble connecting. If I was here, then he was always there. Touring and recording with atmosphere. What the hell's going on with my career? Within a year, my team disappeared. Got a phone call on the 4th of July. My dad died, he committed suicide. Shit. Should have been there for him. Had to fly home from Europe to bury him. Give me a minute. Bismillah. Alright, listen, trying to hold this marriage together. Me and my baby barely see each other. I'm in France with my fans taking pictures. She's at the crib making dinner, doing dishes. She ain't gotta worry about me screwing up a bitch. That ain't enough to make a woman feel precious unless we start to intersect it. We got no choice but grow in different directions. I got that phone call again. You know the kind you never want to get. Idea's mom couldn't get a hold of him. Found him dead in his apartment. I'm just drowning in tears. Probably won't get over that in all my years. I'll remember forever. A day later boarded a plane from Mecca. And the next month changed my life. Listening to God in the holy sights. Inklings I had had all my life suddenly presented themselves in plain sight. Any doubts I had about the mic and whether or not what I write is right fell out of sight like tears on the floor. Now I'm going harder than I ever did before. Got a couple of beat tapes from Jake. Genuine dude and his music is great. I told Zach to hold my tour dates. Roll the tape, I got something to say. However long it's been, you're just as beautiful as you were last time we were here. Let us start this one right though.